Hello, everyone. Sorry for the technical problems that we just decided to use my laptop. Anyway, I'm going to talk about this Ethereum Foundation's plan 2019, and this is almost the same as what I talked at East Denver. So if you already heard about this, maybe you can go to Hudson's talk so that I don't waste your time. So I will start. At DevCon last year in Prague, I talked about this beauty in subtraction philosophy or mindset that the EF's intention to grow small, and when pursuing decentralization, we need to continuously think about this mindset in making decisions and building decisions. And I explained why is that. And today I'm not going to talk deep about that, but I am going to talk about our plan, how we want to do things differently this year. And that's, well, I think every decision we do is really related to this beauty in subtraction philosophy. And then you will hear part of it today too. So the foundation was founded in 2014, and then back in that those days, that EF was the home of people like the developers and researchers who were actually working on the Ethereum, and EF was the only place that had developers and researchers. So EF was equal to Ethereum, and however, that is. As you can see at this event, that's not the case now. And the entire ecosystem has grown, and we have all different stakeholders now. Businesses have started, and the apps, and then nonprofits, governments, all are using Ethereum in some way, or working on Ethereum, or still working on the development of Ethereum. And this is how the technology of Ethereum, or the Ethereum itself, has evolved. It was created in 2014, and then it became alive 2015, and then now it's 2019. So we actually already seen the scaling happening, and also actual apps that are being in the real world use. So that shows so that the world largest blockchain community now, like Ethereum is. So compared to when it started, it is growing very quick and very big. And one of the index that I actually like to use this often, especially when I talk at events where many blockchains are there, not just for Ethereum event. And it's by this team. Their name is Sentiment. Maybe you know them. They create this data from GitHub, but GitHub doesn't there are many different data that you can pull from GitHub, but they use only the data that is relevant to this actual activity of you can call their activity of the original project. And as you can see, Ethereum has by far the largest dev activities, and this is actually daily number, and they kind of have this average number last 30 days. And then they update that every minute or something. You can check that out, Sentiment. So this shows. Oh, and then this doesn't include ERC20 activities. So this is solely for Ethereum. And so again, going back to when the foundation was started, the EF was Ethereum, and again, I use this often, but it's like this now. The entire ecosystem is we are the Ethereum Foundation is really tiny part of the entire ecosystem. So with this growth, I say that the EF's role needs to also shift, and how we plan things every year, what we should do this year, what we should do like last year, this year, next year, should be different, and it should shift based on the stage of Ethereum. And when we think about what we should be doing now, we think more about what are the things that only the EF can do, and that is actually really like the key concept of decision making. So we think about this a lot, and then we have some plans for this year. Well, we started plans this year, and then I can introduce a couple of them. And then one of them is this communication. It sounds obvious, but the EF hasn't done like much of proactive communications, meaning if you are interested in Ethereum, you can discover information. Like you have to discover your information somewhere, and the information is spread all over. Also, at the same time, now the Ethereum information is so much, so you can't really tell what is legit or not. And then the reason why we think this is something that only EF can do is at least the Ethereum Foundation has the brand and recognition that EF has earned. And when we speak, and also we are a nonprofit organization that doesn't have any business incentives, and people can tell, at least we try to provide fair, neutral information, and then that's the background. And so the stories. So every day you hear so many things in Ethereum. It's like talking about the world, right? So it can be about development, it can be about research, but it can be about the app, like that is actually doing great stuff in somewhere in the world. And we like to actually tell the world that the great stuff that are happening because of people like you. I don't think that's been done enough. So again, we can be the source of information, but how we create the information, we want to also decentralize how we communicate too. We are actually a very tiny team. Regarding operations, we are pretty tiny. And, but because of that philosophy, the beauty in subtraction philosophy, our intention is not to hire everyone to the EF. Like we want to actually make most out of what this beautiful community has. And there are many others who can create, including sentiment that I just mentioned. Like, they're providing great data. We don't have to be the one who create that, but we can be the one to communicate to the world. So that's something that we want to do. So we are discussing with other community members. If you think you're the one who can actually help us with this, let us know, and maybe let the person know. Yes. So that's what I meant by decentralizing communications. And website, I know. Well, maybe you might not even know, but we've been working on this for almost too long. But it is coming, and the Ethereum.org, we believe it should be about Ethereum, it shouldn't be about the foundation. So we will separate this. The Ethereum.org will be the place where people go there and then get. And then for creating this, we need help from the community, of course. Because again, this is not about the foundation. Like there's no way we can know everything that's happening in Ethereum. So we are actually working with other community members. That's why I don't want to make an excuse, but making everything decentralized takes longer. But I promise this is coming soon. And again, we keep providing financial support by giving grant, and then I think with all different situation in this market and everything, like we do want to, well, even without the market situation, we do want to have more better focus, and we value those who produce. This is one of the values that I really believe. I mean, I think everyone probably wants to believe, but that's the value that when I in running the organization, that I always think that I'm building, since I joined, I'm building the team that I just, want to make sure those who produce get acknowledged. And that's the same thing for grant program. And the grant program, one of the things that we've been doing differently is that we have some community members joining decision-making, screening process, due diligence process, and also what we'd like to do more that we're working on now is even the funding part. It doesn't have to be only by the EF, and that's something that I believe that will make the ecosystem or open source this technology more sustainable. If you're relying on one organization, that's like you're kind of missing the point of, because we don't really own Ethereum. So we have to make this also decentralized too. There are already other funding mechanisms that exist in the ecosystem. So it's naturally happening, and then we want to proactively work on that too. And then non-financially, this is actually, I think, that part that I think that the EF can do probably best. Giving money can be done by anyone, to be honest, but if anyone has money. But there should be other ways to support. Like communication is the same thing. That when I said about the stories, that's also one of the things that we can support. And then that's also related to this may be the thing that you are interested, or you want to ask questions. So the decision that we made about not disclosing the amount of grants, and I thought I should explain here the reason better, or not, I shouldn't say better, but we didn't explain much. And then every time we get questions, we try to respond as much as possible. It's impossible to respond to everything, but here's the reason. So basically, in short, we're not an investor. We're giving grants, and the big difference is investors give money to make money, but we give money to make best impact for Ethereum. So that we have to consider different factors compared to regular investment. For example, like Yoav, who is sitting here, he created this system. Like maybe you heard about this at East Denver gas station network that enables the app to let users use the app without having ETH in their wallet, and that's something that's super beneficial to any the apps in the ecosystem, and that's something that we should actually promote. Do they need a lot of financial support? They do not. So we're working to actually provide some support to them, but the amount shouldn't reflect the importance of that project, because we consider many different factors. And also, if some smart team can produce 10 times better with less amount of grant, we welcome that, because that means we can actually have extra money to support other projects. And that's the way, like it works so different from regular investment. And then people tend to think, plan, apply for a project, or apply the budget, thinking in the investment way. And then we just decided to, because people see the number and then try to calculate from there and then plan that, and then that is not making our process effective. So that's the reason. However, we do want to actually see and then show if the grant money is working. And that's relevant questions and information you want to see. So we plan to provide more information for that, including some financial information, at least regularly, quarterly is the plan. So since I promised here now, Ken, who is right there, he has to make it happen. Okay, so we will. That's the important part. And so we will give grant to non-dev, non-research project too. And East Global is one of the project that we recently provided financial support. And obviously, we empower them to empower others, and they're doing fantastic job. They has run East hackathons in 2018, 3,800 hackers from 65 countries. And a third of those hackers are actually new to Ethereum, which is fantastic. And a lot of great products were born from East Global's event. Actually, I did not know about this until we talked about this. CryptoKitties and others. So that means it is also creating, not just promoting new developers, it is actually creating great ideas. And then we think, especially for a long term, if you think about the size of the impact this is creating, for sure we want to support. And this is also something that hasn't been announced. The research grant, one of the big things. IC3, I don't know if you know about this. It's led by Cornell, but also with other universities. It's been running for a while, and then they've been doing this research camp every year, and the EF researchers joined that too. And it's been underfunded, and then we just decided to give financial support for their smart contract confidentiality, smart contract assurance research. And this is going to be actually officially announced soon. Right. And another thing I always mention is that vision is something very important. They're also one of the biggest reasons that I decided to support Ethereum, which is the world we want to see after we finish building Ethereum, like a world with fewer imbalances, and the world with more positive impact. And I think even though EF has been focusing on the core infrastructure level projects and development and research, I think without thinking about why we are building this, it's really, it is really important to talk about this. So I talk about this often, and then with that, one of the things we started doing is this survey since the end of last year. So the survey for the apps that are solving real world issues. And we didn't promote too much, but we have received, anyone can apply, you don't have to be part of the project. And we have received about, up to so far, it's ongoing, so you can still submit. And then about 350 submissions we have received, and these are the places that those teams are based. So it's all over in the world. When you say real world issues, it is, my definition, it's like any problem that is very close to you, or you want to solve something that's in front of you, right? Like I like the ideas or teams that are solving issues locally because they understand the problem better than anyone else. And these are the keywords we found in the submissions, and that means the apps are actually providing solutions for fundamental challenges in the world. So we like to actually introduce these examples in an organized way, or we are thinking about different ideas maybe you can suggest. But for example, one of the apps are providing, one of the teams is providing the app for crowd consensus metrics in Myanmar. So this is actually happening in this small town hall meeting in Yangon, and they're basically using this polling system, using the app, and then like what are the key metrics for them to actually, key benchmark for them to decide on that their decision, like consensus metrics, and then they want to actually create this government bond. But the problem of like the current issues they had, the issues that they're solving, what the app is solving is more than 90% of the any project in Myanmar is government run. It's not, there's no municipal level of decision making. So every process is so slow. It's so hard to get the fund. And so this little thing is like everyone, including this, some elder person this is the photo of he is learning about the app. It's a simple thing that it doesn't have to be complicated. It's a simple thing in front of you. And then identities, of course, there are many apps that are working on this. This is an example in Brazil. I think 25,000 babies, newborn babies, die within a month in Brazil. So the problem is that the registration process is so complicated, and the cost. So no one tried to register, and that means these babies cannot receive this early childhood development services, like medical services, and that is very critical for them to stay healthy. And this is not just in Brazil. I went to Indonesia. Talk to the government. They also, like 50% of the kids there are not registered, which is, like you can't really believe it, but that's realistic. And then if you think of the cost, and also how the current system is organized, there's no better way than using blockchain to make it cheaper and also less complicated. Okay, I'm going to skip this. So what we want to do from this is we just want to discover hidden or unhidden stars, and then find a way to support them, mainly connect them to us or to someone in the community, for them to support those builders who are working on their solutions locally. They might not have enough knowledge to how to do it best, or each place has more information, like some specific information that other place can learn from. So that's what we want to do. And then I want to give you an example of, like, I met this UNICEF innovation team the end of last year, and when we just started this survey, UNICEF innovation team has been doing this innovation fund, and one of them is to blockchain startups. And UNICEF has 190 offices in the world. So all these places are from developing world. And these are the startups that were doing this. They actually brought these startups to New York to give them some workshop to provide some expertise or mentorship. And I joined the workshop as a mentor. Well, I was invited. I didn't know I was supposed to be a mentor. But I really enjoyed, and then I really was impressed. Not necessarily to the level of development, which is still like in progress, but how there are actually local teams who are working on solutions using blockchain. And UNICEF did a great job. I don't know if you can see this. From Argentina, from Bangladesh, from India, from Mexico, from Tunisia, and like I was impressed how they discovered these teams and then actually providing some incubation. So there, I thought because we started the same, like similar thing, there should be some collaborations that can be beneficial for both of us. So we started talking. We wanted to do a little bit bigger announcement here today, but I wasn't able to. But you will hear more about this. And either way, they're supporting these teams, and we are also trying to support the teams that we discovered on our own too. And we want to collaborate together here. And what I'd like to ask you is, the survey is still online, or it's still ongoing, survey.ethereum.org. You can go there and then apply for your own team or someone else. And also, for our new initiative, this, we like to ask volunteers, mentors, that if you want to be involved in this, and actually to be a mentor of these teams that are working on solutions locally. So if you think you have skill set to do this, please email us, mentorship@ethereum.org, with your background, with your passion, and who you are. And that is it. Thank you. Am I supposed to? Oh, yeah. It's. I think Brad needs as more. Yeah, I think I saw Brad. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So I need to entertain. Maybe Elaine can entertain people. Do you want to entertain people? I tried to